comedian Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I went down and had lunch with my old man today, just in case. He was going into surgery tomorrow. Now it's been moved till next week, so fucking what a waste of a day. No, I went down there, had lunch with my old man, thought his surgery was going to be tomorrow, but he just called me like 20 minutes ago saying the surgeon called and said he can't do it tomorrow, he's got to do it next week. But I can tell you this, he was not fucking looking too excited. He didn't sound like he was too enthusiastic about even coming out of the fucking general anesthetic. Jesus Christ. I suppose 3 major hip operations in 3 years is not that exciting, but like I said to him, no one gets out of this unscathed. It's coming for everyone at some point. It's just a matter of when. Hopefully you can prolong it as much as you possibly can. Dad got 64 years without a fucking hiccup, and the last 3 years have been pretty rough, but the last 3 years have seemed to have somehow cancelled out the previous 64. As soon as things turn bad, it's like things have always been bad. You can't even remember the good times. You're like, what? There was good times before this? Hasn't it always fucking sucked? No, it hasn't always sucked. Well, for some people it has. For some people it's sucked the whole time. From birth, just one fuck up after another. There was this young girl in Australia, famous. She was on the news when she was younger. Sophie Delezio. She was I think she was 3 or something, and a car lost control and drove through her fucking daycare, and she ended up getting some horrific fucking injuries. She was all sorts of fucked up. But she survived, and it was all over the news, and everyone was like, oh, brave Sophie. And then, I think it was 2 or 3 years later, a car reversed over. It's so fucked. In the driveway or something, she was playing in a driveway, and a car fucking reversed over her, and she ended up under the fucking car, suffering even more horrific injuries. She wasn't meant to survive the car being on top of her twice. But she survived both times, and she's doing all right now. I remember when that fucking Sophie Delezio thing happened as well. It was like, no fucking way, not again. Actually, I don't think it was someone reversed over her. I think her mum or something was pushing her across the road like a zebra crossing, and someone just sped through and fucking just ran over the pram. Fucking, let me check what it is. I don't know. I forgot what it was. Sophie. Thank you, Google, because Sophie Delezio was the first fucking name. Sophie Delezio was injured, 2 serious car crashes when she was young. First crash, I know that was the childcare one. Don't need to get into that. The second one was again badly injured while being pushed across a crossing by her nanny in a wheelchair. Oh, fuck. Oh, brutal. She's getting pushed across the road in a wheelchair by her nanny, and she gets taken out by a fucking car again. She suffered a heart attack, a broken jaw, a broken shoulder and bruise to her head, numerous rib fractures, and a tear to her left lung. This is already after she lost her legs and 85% of her body being burnt. Jesus Christ, this is not the fucking fun podcast today. This is not the happy one. She got so fucked up. One of the cars she got trapped under was on fire. So she had fucking burns over 85% of her body. She lost 2 of her legs below the knee and one of her ears. So when you're like looking at that, you're like, how many good years did Sophie get? She got like 2.5 decent years. And then it was pretty traumatic after that. And here's the kicker. There's people worse off than Sophie. There's people Sophie can look at and just go, Jesus Christ. I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. All I had was 2 cars sitting on top of me as a toddler. What they went through is truly fucked. So it's all just a perspective thing. But it is a lot easier to be philosophical about these things when you're not the person in it. 67's not that old either. But he's not going until next week now anyway, so looks like I'm going to have to give him a fucking another pep talk next week. Don't deliberately walk to the light. Try and move away from the light. Walk the opposite direction. If it pulls you in, then there's nothing you can do about it, but don't actively run towards it. Put up some resistance at least. Anyway, that'll fucking do it for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.